Hi, and thank you for watching the startup video on Fujifilm's Z90 digital camera. These are new cameras for 2011. They come in both blue and a pink in Canada. Of course, they come in different colors around the world. Now, if you just purchased this camera, I'm going to show you how to get the batteries into the camera and to take pictures for the very first time. Now, first off, the battery that are included are rechargeable lithium batteries. So that I highly recommend you charge them prior to using the camera. I have one here that's fully charged. Let's just take a look at the bottom of the camera now and insert this battery to the camera. So the battery covers are here. You're going to slide it to the right and it swings open. It's spring loaded. I'm going to insert the batteries. Make sure that the orange stripe is matching the orange tab. And also the contacts should go into the camera. So that's the wrong way. So there's the contact. There's the orange tab. I'm going to insert that in. Clips in place and the batteries don't fall out. If you want to put the tab down, now the batteries can be taken out of the camera. We'll put that back in again. Now the camera uses an SD card. I have a 2 gig SD card here with me. It also accepts the high capacity cards, the SDHC cards. I highly recommend you pick up a class 4 card if you plan to do HD videos with this camera. Otherwise, you may have some write issues on this camera. Okay, so to properly insert the memory card into the camera, you follow the instructions. There's a little diagram just right here showing you the directions. But basically, if you look at the front of the card, it should be the back of the camera. Not this way, so that way. So I'm going to insert it into the SD slot. Okay, and I'm going to use my other finger just to push it in here. It's kind of tricky. There we go. It's spring loaded, so I pushed it in. If I want to take the card out, I push it in again, and it springs out. So again, I'm going to put the card back in, clips in place, close the lid. I'm ready to turn the camera on. 2 ways of turning this camera on, actually. Holding the playback button and sliding the lens cover down, which turns the camera on. And there you go. Now, if this is the very first time you turn on the camera, it's going to ask you to select the language settings and also the date and time. So this is, of course, not the very first time I've had this on, so it does this. Okay? If you want to change the shooting mode, it's the touchscreen camera. So you can touch here, and you can select the different shooting modes, scene recognition auto, which is basically the default setting of this camera. It changes the mode for you, whether you're shooting macro shots. And you can change the different modes like touch and shoot, track and shoot, panoramic. So that would be touch and shoot. I'm going to show you a little demonstration on that for a second. But I'm just going to bring it back just to the original one, which is the scene recognition auto mode. This is a mode that most people will be shooting with all the time. Taking pictures for the very first time, how to do that? The camera has a shut button on the top of the camera. And you basically just push it down and it takes the picture. Okay? Now ideally you want to use the half focus technique, which is push the shutter button halfway down until it focuses, and then when you take the picture, you reduce the amount of lag time that it does to actually capture the shot. So again, halfway down to focus and all the way down to take the picture. Again, halfway down and then take the picture. Or, like I said, if you get lazy, you can just push it all the way down as well. It's going to take the picture. But there might be a slight delay, right? You know, you don't want to do this and then walk the camera and take a picture of the ground. Okay? So that's a quick look at how to take pictures. Of course, the camera does have a built-in zoom. It's a 5 times wide-angle zoom, so it starts off at 28 millimeters. And to zoom out, you can use the zoom controls right here by pushing left and right. And if you look at the lens, it doesn't come out of the camera at all, and that's because it uses a special a prism that reflects light, that the lenses are actually moving up and down, and the sensor is right here. Okay? So light comes through the lens, gets reflected down this side, and this is where all the lens components are being kept to keep the compactness of this camera. So that's the zoom controls. So let's try that. We're going to zoom out, take a photo, okay? And zoom out again and take another photo. There we go. So it will try to find focus. If it finds focus, it might search for that again. I'll take another shot for you. There we go. Okay, So how do we take a look at images on this back of this camera? You can push the playback button. So this is what we're going to do now. And because it's a touch screen, we can use actually touch to go between the different pictures. Or I can just push these buttons here too and jump between the pictures. Okay. If I wanted to zoom in on an image, I can use the zoom controls and actually zoom in. And now I can pan through the image by pushing these buttons here. I zoomed in too far, actually, so let's zoom out more so I can show you how that works. Okay. So that's just a quick look at the zoom. I can also push these buttons here to zoom out or zoom in. Okay. Push back will bring you completely out. I'm going to jump to the next picture. If I touch the screen, I can push the zoom button. I can also zoom in as well. So I actually don't have to use the zoom controls on top. I can actually use it through the touch menu as well. Okay, let's say I wanted to delete one of these images. I didn't really like this image. I can push the trash can. It's going to say erase OK. I'm going to go OK, and that image is now deleted. Okay, if I want to delete more images, I would have to go into the menu of the camera and select erase. And I can choose from the current frame, the selected frames, or all frames. I'm going to show you how to do selected frames. So I'm going to select that. And it comes up with basically a grid of 9 thumbnail images or pictures I've taken. If I don't like this image, I touch that, I touch that, and I touch that. Those 3 images are selected to be deleted. I push OK. I have 3 total. Am I going to erase it? OK. Pretty simple touchscreen actually control this camera. So that's just a quick look at how to get started with the Z90 camera.